Welcome back to another episode of Just Listening Podcast. I'm with my kuya, Robert Baysa. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. And he is currently in San Diego. I met him back when we were in San Francisco. Helped me throughout my college career. So it's actually really funny that it's coming to full circle and we could actually like really talk about it. What was because I've seen you kind of go
Yeah.
through the ups, the downs, the love, the career, and all that. But I'll let you introduce yourself first before we get into that kind of stuff. So go
Hi,
ahead.
everybody. I'm Robert. Just want to say thank you to Alyssa for putting me on to this. It's actually really cool. Never really done something like this before, but I feel like a lot of people say that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
um, a little about me. Yeah, we were part of the same program, and it was like a mentor-mentee program. And fortunately, I was able to pick up Alyssa, and it just started a really good best friendship, and it was so awesome. But aside from that, we met in what 2017.
yeah.
Yeah,
2017,
so been in each other's lives for about 4 years. That's crazy, actually, when you think about
crazy.
it. But yeah, I am back in San Diego. I was living in the East Bay for 4 years, actually, when I went to SF State. And I actually just came back now, working with kids in the mental health field. It's been pretty fun, making
Nice.
change one step at a time.
You already know. You already know. How is that? So you're actually down back here in SoCal, but your girl is up there in NorCal. So that long
Yeah.
distance, what is that like?
Oh man, that was that was crazy. Well, a little about that. I feel like throughout my entire life of dating, I'm 25 by the way.
Hmm.
I've been dating since would you count eighth grade? But I had about a 5 year relationship in high school to college, and that one turned a long distance, followed by a little bit more in my earlier college years, which was also long distance, and both of those didn't work out.
Yeah.
So the thing was, I was like, oh my gosh, I had to go through this again.
Hmm.
But the fortunate thing is I didn't have to think about that. When the time came, it just kind of clicked. I feel like it was good because in a sense I knew I had to come back right when the whole thing started. But it is really tough. What's your take on that?
Let's bring it back a little bit. How did you meet your partner now? Who is
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
what was that? Because I know the story of how like
Yeah.
y'all kind of were slowly into it, and it was funny because I think I mentioned this to you before when you were in your previous relationship. I was like, what? I was like no, no shade or anything, but I was
No,
like,
no, you were the realest one. You had to say it to me. You had to make me wake up. You feel me?
I was like, I don't think. I mean, I'm gonna let him do him because obviously your relationship. I don't want to
Yeah.
like step in, but I was like, I don't think they're really clicking, or if there was
hmm
really like a spark, just because she was so introverted, and I felt like it always felt awkward, like even stepping up to you, like, oh hey, like
hmm
how you doing, and like
And whole
like
interaction,
asking.
right?
Yeah, the whole interaction was just kind of weird because you would just stand there, and then I was like,
Mm.
do I say hi? Do I hug her? Like, what is that dynamic? But then later on, once that ended, and I was like, oh, he's like totally ghost now. Like, what is he up to? But to come to find out, you're like actually really happy in the relationship you are in now. So, like, yeah, tell us about her. Who is she?
Yeah. So, my lovely partner, she's my girlfriend. Her name is Inkbolar Toshin Bayar. She's Mongolian. She also goes by Inky. Um, can I plug her socials?
Go ahead, of
Yeah,
course.
so she's an aspiring influencer. She
Okay.
likes doing modeling on the side, and it was so cute. Like, okay, let me just throw it. It's Inky ENKIEE underscore for Insta,
Hmm.
and TikTok is Inky or at Inky ENKII or IEE one.
We'll put it
Well,
in the
yeah,
description.
whatever.
But I love that you remember that, like from front
Well,
to finish.
it's so funny. Like, everything just adds up, and I love how it really clicks in the trains in your mind. It really just runs.
Yeah.
But so me and Inky, we met in Gen Korean Barbecue. I used to work there like 2018, and we
Mhm.
both worked there probably like about a month after, and then she quit 3 months in, and I stayed there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, I actually just didn't want a relationship at this time period of my life.
Mhm.
So it was nothing. We were just literally friends, followed each other on Instagram. She quit. I didn't really talk to her. But then sometime during fall or January 2021, or oh my gosh, January 2019.
Okay, I was
That's
like,
been so long.
mhm.
It's been so interesting, but I used to go to the gym a lot at the UFC gym in Concord,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I would post, I would post my little thirst
The
traps,
little
trying to get
thirst
the,
traps, trying to get the
want a little
ladies.
attention, but I'm shy. I don't want to go at it. And then she didn't do nothing except kind of hype me up. She was like, "Ooh, I see you," and then put the clapping emoji.
Mhm.
And then I hit her with the, "Oh, how you been? Like, I haven't seen you in a minute."
Yeah.
And she kind of just caught on, or not caught on, but she went along with it. And mind you, we were just being friends, but I just thought she was cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we decided to go out to eat, and we went out to eat at some ramen place in Oakland. It's another one in Japantown. It's super good. It's like,
Is
I
it
don't know, it's Marufuku.
Marufuku? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah, we
okay.
talked about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we went to eat there, and I feel like it's one of those. It's just one of those moments where you kind of just like, why why am I having such a fun time? It was one
Mhm.
of those like, not so sure if I really want to go out, but as friends, I don't want to look for anything.
Yeah, yeah,
We went to ramen, and then I extended it to dessert. I was already full at that point.
yeah.
And then I was like, no, I gotta talk to her some more. I gotta talk to her some
Yeah.
more. And I went to get boba with her
Is
after.
that boba?
Yeah. So we went to this waffle place in I don't know if it was like in Berkeley. And then
Mhm.
we went to Ucha or something like that. It's
Yeah.
some boba place. But and then we went to, it's funny. You know that the thing in the bay, they're like, if they take you to a view,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
a
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
boy or something. Oh, excuse my language.
Uh-huh.
But so she took me to Grizzly Peak.
Okay.
And but the thing was, I was wearing a sweater. I'm from SoCal.
Mhm.
We get hella cold.
Yeah, yeah,
She was wearing like a regular windbreaker. I was wearing like a fuzzy jacket, and it was one of those corny moments when you're just like standing like 2 feet apart,
yeah.
talking about the life. And she was talking about Tinder. I was talking about dating, and like I was giving her advice on how to date.
Mhm.
And she like showed me about the stars or whatever, and it was so cute. And then this is a really corny part right here. We were cold. I wanted to give her my sweater. She didn't want to take it, so I said, "All right, let's go back in the car."
Uh-huh.
And then to drop me off, because I didn't drive at the time, and she actually picked me up, which was also super sweet. I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't like dating, because I didn't have a car. It didn't
Yeah.
make me feel like a
It's so
man
much
to,
harder. Yeah.
yeah, like what am I gonna do? Pick you up in an Uber or like that one time I took you in a zip car? You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were driving the car, and then she was like, "Oh, my hands are cold." And then I did something where I like grabbed her hand, and I intertwined it, and then like that, and
Oh.
I heated it up, and then I let it go, like just all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we went back to my house. Mind you, it was like 2 a.m. and we were watching Bird Box. Nothing happened at
Bird
all.
Box. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then at the end, we kissed, and it was
It was like the
like
movies.
for real. Like I'm a big cornball for that. I love
Yeah, yeah,
romantic
yeah.
comedies and stuff. I was like, was that fireworks or something?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah. Oh,
So
shit.
I walked her to her car. I was like, I'll text you or something, drive safe. And then it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
never done that. My housemates were out and all that.
Yeah.
I called my freaking best friend Kayla, and I was like, bro, what the heck? Like, cause she knew her too, and I was like, I kiss
Mhm.
Inky. But then after that, it was interesting because since then we saw each other every day, and I never had something where you had a relationship. You saw someone every day. Like
Hmm.
we would live 10 minutes apart. I went to SF State. She went to DVC, but yeah, it was very nice, and it gave me like some type of like warm feeling, like knowing someone's always going to be there.
Mhm.
But that's a little, and then that's just the start, and ever since then, we've kind of just been cuffed.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing. I was just like, it's nice to see you happy and to go through like big milestones. Any milestones that y'all been through or
Mhm.
are going to go through? I know you talking about big moves this year and what's happening
Yeah,
for
we'd be
both of
neighbors.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
you never know. I'll swing by. Wait, what's up? Let's get some boba.
How's that with your plans together? Do you have any?
Yeah. So currently, right now, we're just waiting on some results of where we're gonna be living, and
Mhm.
depending where she gets accepted, that's where we'll be going to, and I'm pretty open on that. Either SoCal or NorCal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that'll be really good.
long distance doesn't really affect it, or what is the long distance part of it all?
So
Like,
the
what is the stuff that people don't kind of
mhm,
like see? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of
yeah.
people that look at long distance as like, oh, it's hard, but also it's not like they just don't see the background of it. Does it make sense?
See that's where the thing it's very arguable. It's like
Mhm.
what is considered hard or difficult?
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you love something or you want to do something so much, like you can have so many examples of yourself pushing yourself to the limit to get what you want. So
Mhm.
why can't you do that for another person?
Yeah.
And it makes you think like, is that person really worth it?
Yeah.
And for me, and or for us, I would say well, one thing she's the one that taught me. One thing that always got me when I felt like I was such a hothead, like every
Yeah.
typical guy was, and I didn't know how to control myself. And when I would get upset or something like that, she would just say, "Hey, stop! It's not me versus you. It's me and you versus a problem."
Okay.
And no matter how much I like got upset or like I was being a big baby or whatever, she would just literally hold it down like a freaking stone, like hold it down for me, like kind of hug me and all that stuff. And I was
Mhm.
like, "What the heck? What are you doing? Like
Never
this
felt
girl's
that
crazy." And
affection.
eventually, I went from like a ravaging wolf, little puppy. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey." Follow her like on a leash and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I like to say it too, but
Mhm.
a lot of communication. It's
Definitely.
simple, but it's really tough, right? Like
Mhm.
long distance, you're gonna have to you text in the morning, like, hey, good morning, and then throughout the day, maybe a FaceTime date. But then at some point, it becomes like a chore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or you get those thoughts. But sometimes people get those thoughts because they're the ones actually committing those acts, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like that's where it gets tough to look between those lines.
Well, how do you get out of, when you talk about it being a chore and like looking
Mhm,
at it as kind of like I talk to you every day, but then like you're not able to see them. So I know you're a huge person of quality time and a huge person of just being together with people physically and hanging out and stuff. So
mhm.
that's where kind of like the relationship um flourishes because you're spending so much time together, you're going to different places and all that but jazz. But being it through technology, it's kind of different in a sense that you don't know um you're always in the same setting, you're always at home, you're like, oh hey,
Mhm.
is there anything you do to like spice up the relationship or being able to like understand that um
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, one thing I want to say is one like when people get annoyed of those type of things or when people can't give that effort to the person when they're trying to communicate to, it might be the surrounding experience or the environment affecting them, like school, their job, um, home situation. That's why they can't give their focus to their significant other.
Mm,
And I feel like once that person or that couple real or kind of finds out what that inner problem is, or not inner problem, but that affecting shroud of cloud that kind of glooms over you that
yeah.
affects that prevents you from contacting your lover, then and that's what helps. But regarding that question you had, effort, a lot
Mm,
of effort, and it kind of goes the same way, like because I feel like some people who are long distance, quote unquote, are
mhm,
closer than someone who lives together
yeah.
because they're just so used to it, but they don't put the effort to do it. One thing that me and my me and my girlfriend do is we always say 9 p.m. and then like I remember I didn't call her for like 4 days in a row first. I kind of just
Uh,
waited for her
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
you know because she's usually like, oh no, don't call me, I'll call you. So
Mhm.
I guess I just been having that in my mind like, okay, I'll just wait, but I have my phone ready.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's just something we kind of do, just having those Netflix party is
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah.
We send a lot. Oh, Snapchat, that's pretty big. Like it's easy, you don't really have to type too much, just we just send a recording and
Mhm.
send it. um we send like Venmos or we give some gifts, like
Oh
just really,
wow.
yeah, randomly or surprisingly, because she also does like a full time job in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've always I always heard about how people are able to kind of just spice it up and being
Mhm.
um a little bit more proactive because five, what is it, 5, 6 hours from where you're at in San Diego to NorCal, right?
Oh, no, it's like 8
Oh, it's 8?
'cause I'm on the butt crack, you know? I'm on, like, San
Oh,
Diego to Mexico right there. I'm 5 minutes from the freeway to the border.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think when it comes to relationships too, also, have there been any trials that you've had to go through with this? Because I mean, also we've talked about your relationships in the past and how that not only it I wouldn't say it just didn't work out, but there's some like incidents that you you kind of looked at it as like this is a time in my life and
Mhm.
this is like trying to get over it. Have you had that situation when it came to you and Enki right now?
Yeah. So, back to what I was saying, like, I saw her every day.
Mm,
There was a time period where I saw her every day. I wasn't so used to being next to somebody every day because I lived by myself for a while.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't have someone on my side, like, sleep in my bed and wake up next to my bed. Like,
mm.
that was a little too much for me, like, 4 days in a row? What? You know, I was
Yeah.
like, what is happening?" And then I'd be, like, hecka mad and all that
Mm,
stuff, and then I think she got too comfortable, but the thing is she thought I was comfortable with it because I kept saying it, and I guess I wasn't communicating that, and
yeah, yeah,
then but once I did, she kinda or once I did, I kinda felt better, nothing else changed. I actually liked it, like, heck yeah, I want someone to be, sending like, writing posts or notes to me every day, like,
yeah, yeah.
I remember one time I went out to work, and then
Mhm.
she had to go to work after, but she just stayed at my house. She,
Yeah.
like, fixed up my room, like, fold my laundry, like, gave me, like put, like, Post-its and, like, in the mirror said, like, "Oh, who's good
Wow.
looking? You are," or whatever, and I was like, "What the heck? I never had any of these," you know? Like, this is some
Yeah.
Tumblr shit. Excuse my language, sorry.
No, you're good, you're good, you're good. It was just a kind of a change in affection, like,
Yes,
kind of how you saw affection in
it's
that
more
sense.
like effort, like,
Oh, okay.
intention, like truly knowing that they're really gonna be there, and that just gives you all the power in the world, like, I feel like that's one thing that I was kinda missing, that
Mhm.
reassurance.
Yes.
I feel like that's very tough.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're able
Thank
to
you.
see a different light and all that. But I mean, aside from your relationships too, how are you and how's COVID? Like this whole panoramic. How are you keeping?
Yeah, it's been a oh, it's crazy. Well, I would like to say one thing, it kinda changed a lot of my life in a sense,
Mhm.
because I was living in NorCal away from my family, I had a job, I had my whole friends and family. And then I just had to leave within like 30 days because my
Mhm.
lease ended and my roommates couldn't renew it
Yeah.
because the whole situation and such. So I kind of just lost that whole environment and I had to go back here. All
Mm,
of a sudden, like, then that was my last semester of college. And to be honest, it didn't really hit me until I would say later on when I
mhm.
realized we weren't going to open up yet.
Yeah.
And kind of just makes you sad because it's like, wow, so many, I guess the part where it's like, you really wish you said bye or I'll see you soon or I'll see you later. Kind of like, when you go outside and play with your friends when you're like 8 years old and you
Oh
come
yeah.
back inside. That's the last time you ever played.
Yeah, you didn't
Like, I
know
guess
when
that's
the
a
last.
closure we need, and I feel like that's really tough on our generation with the whole ghosting thing. And I feel like that's what happened. It became hard when your friends kind of had to go through their own things and everyone was going through their own things.
Mhm.
But I feel like we were coming together. But fortunately, I rode that EDD train,
Yes.
and
The
I
EDD.
played it smart. I was super surprised I didn't like splurge
Mhm.
because I from the get right when I moved, I told Inky I was like next or I actually aimed for this January
Mhm.
today
Yeah.
or this month for us to move in together, but everything
Okay.
got extended. So at that time, my mind was still set on saving up to move out.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, I got a job. Well, one thing I graduated class of 2020.
Yes,
Ooh,
okay. You.
child development and stuff. Want to be with the kids. Hopefully,
Mhm.
be a teacher soon. Gonna take my credential. But I got a job at working with foster kids, and it's a really great, rewarding, kind of draining, but
Mhm.
amazing job. I work with therapists, working with kids, and just trying to help them. My position as skills trainer, I
Mhm.
kind of just help kids with, I don't know if I can say all that. I'll just say that.
Would you say
But
like personal skills, like being able
yes,
to,
yeah,
yeah,
like how to navigate them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it's really nice. It's cool because, well, one, I get free therapy. My supervisor's therapist, so
Oh
kind of
wow,
she kind of just helps me, and they're such a. I feel like they really set the stone of like how a good job should be,
yeah.
how a good company should be, and I feel like that's something I always missed or
Mhm.
I always needed. And community that you're trying to look for, something that you're building, like
Yeah.
your community is awesome. Like
Um,
how many likes did you get? How many interactions you got in the first time you dropped it? I was just give an applause for Alyssa. Shoot, I am so proud of you. Oh my god.
yeah, I no, I'm definitely to see the thing is like when we were in well, I'm obviously still in college, but
Mhm.
when we were in college together, I could kind of see some the way that our lives were going, it was kind of like parallel. It was like we were both um looking to always like we were never trying to be stagnant in the sense that it's I mean, for some people we look at what it means to be stagnant and we look at it as like, oh, you should never be stagnant. But how I look at it is like we were so comfortable with that at one point. I believe it was like my freshman year. We were just comfortable because we were like kind of just going with a wave and like
Yeah.
how everything was. So it was no really like push. But then I
Mhm.
saw that during like 2018, 2019, we were kind of just doing our own thing, but at the same time like we knew that we were in each other's lives to be able to see that like hey, you going up, like you going up, and whether
For
that's
reals.
academics, because I remember at one point I was like, what the hell is going on with him, like where is he at, so MIA. And I was like, okay, I'm not trying to get ghosted. Like, you're not gonna ghost me or anything. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I knew like you were going to be working on yourself, and that's not always something that people are going to. I wouldn't say want to. You would want
Are
people to,
patient for.
yeah, are patient for exactly.
Mhm.
So it's extremely crazy. I just to be at this kind of point in our lives and where we were in 2017 compared to now. It's I don't know, it's wild.
No, yeah, you were like a literal kid. You just came out of Fontana. I was like, "What's up?" And then you
Yeah,
were just literally the chill. Like, if I had your confidence at that age, I'd probably go like, no one like, you know how you said we were both finding each other.
yeah.
Right, I'm like, "How old are you?"
Right now?
Yes,
21.
I'm 25. We're like on the same spectrum. You feel me? But
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
four.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like 3 years old or 4 years above. But
Mhm.
one thing I want to say is, they say when a guy turns 25, their brain fully develops, and I feel like, not gonna lie, everything clicked.
It did. In what sense? In what sense?
In the
So,
sense of I don't get upset anymore.
mhm.
Like it's not deep, you know? Like when I play video games and someone says like, "Oh, you're a bad kid, you're trash, blah blah blah." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I am bad because I don't play as much, you know? And
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
been playing this game longer for me or longer than me, and why shouldn't you be better? You're in the same rank as me, man."
yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, don't we're the same we're it's that's a definition of like we are the same, we're all equal in a sense. We're
Mhm.
in the same team. Why don't we fight against people that are going against us?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, why are you gonna put us down? I don't know. It's just crazy. But anyway,
What does 25 look like for you now? Like,
25 looks like goals. 25 looks like I actually wanted to do something like that because when so Inky is this is a little interesting too. This is I used to be kind of like laugh at it. I was like, dude, you're like 4 years younger than me and stuff and
mhm,
all
mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
When she turned 20, I wrote like a little poem for her, like in your 20s. And then
Yeah.
I was like, I should have wrote something like that, like your in your quarter century.
Mhm.
I feel like 25 is a time where you know what they see on Twitter, like either you're getting married or you're going out partying, you're
Yeah,
having a
yeah, yeah.
kid or you're getting a degree,
Mhm.
you're getting a millionaire or you're just getting by. Like I think the crazy thing is you see all your old friends and you think about all your old experiences, and I think this is why they call it a quarter life crisis
Yeah.
because you've experienced so much, right?
Mhm.
25 is cool. Definitely better than everything else. I would like to say I
Mhm.
like my mid 20s so far.
Yeah. Dope. How are you looking? forward to anything in specific this upcoming year for yourself and
Yeah.
what your
Um,
goals are or who you trying to be?
I actually been on that huge financial train.
You
I
tell me.
got into it last year
Mhm,
when I was reevaluating my finances, my student loans, and
mhm.
I'm gonna say something right now. Don't take a student loan to pay off your own stuff and just have fun. Don't be dumb like me. I took a 4K student loan and I was like, you know what? I need a little bit extra money and I'm gonna do
Oh
something
my
right now. That was the most
gosh.
responsible 21-year-old move I've ever made my whole life.
Uh,
And it kind of bit me in the butt. But
yeah,
yeah, I started with a financial journey and I definitely have like a lot of goals in the sense of like creating multiple streams,
yeah.
that typical thing. Just reading on how to get better of myself. I
Mhm,
definitely want to try to get a little bit bigger social and on social media too. Um, Me and my girlfriend Inky are kind of just working on growing her account
mhm.
as well as contacting other brands and such
Oh,
and have
nice.
sponsorships. And I'm kind of doing my own thing right now. I'm not gonna say anything yet, but oh,
Oh,
you've seen it.
stay tuned. Oh, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. You just
yeah, but it's just not popping off right now because, or I don't want to post anything right now because of the whole situation in the
no, yeah.
climate.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I get
yeah, and it's just not looking good. But just trying to, honestly, I'm gonna try to move out. I'm gonna be
Oh,
moving.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually proud of myself. I finally saved up money. It's one of
Definitely.
those things where it's like when you were a kid, you'd live paycheck to paycheck. When I
Mhm.
was living out by myself, and I could have easily saved up money. I think that's one thing people should definitely do. Isn't it crazy? They said like what? But like over 90% of people don't have $1,000 saved in their account,
There you go. Yeah, yeah. It's
and that's
hard though, also because
it's
when
hella hard of it. And here with a in a panorama, you know,
in a Panera Bread.
and a Panera Bread.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard and just being able to keep up with finances, even if you're living at home, because obviously you do want to put your
Uh
ins
huh.
in and all that. So I mean, when people look at it as like, oh, you're living at home, you probably don't pay for shit. It's like, no, actually,
Hmm.
you still have a life. You're still an adult. You still pay for stuff on the side. You might not pay for rent, but you're still,
Yeah,
you know,
there's just still responsibilities that you still have to attend to. I feel like that's where the thing people think about other people so much that they don't focus on themselves,
exactly.
right?
Say that. Say
And
that.
it's like, why do you have to keep? Or one thing that kind of irks me is why do people have to be so negative when they kind of see somebody? You
Hmm.
know, when they kind of just say a side comment like, "Oh, why is she wearing that?" Or
Yeah.
why did he make that? Like, you know, like why is that your first thing? Is that what you thought when you first thought of me, man? Because when I
Yeah.
first thought of you, I was like, when I saw you listen, I was like, I love how happy you are. I love
Uh-huh.
how open you are. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's one thing I see. It's perspective. You feel me? Like when you see somebody, what is the first thing you see? And that kind of just shows your nature of a person. Like, are you very nice? Are you hopeful? Are you angry? And all that stuff. What would
Definitely.
you say is your first thing that you
My
like when you see somebody,
of you? Oh, or in
or
general?
just anybody in general? Like,
In
I always try to find something good about them. You know?
in general, sometimes I just look at the fit. To be quite honest, I look at the fit and I look at the shoes. It's not more of like judging. It's just kind of like, oh, those are
Or
actually.
I feel like more interacting. Like if you're talking to somebody
Oh,
and you're
okay.
befriending somebody, you know?
Mm, I would say if they could take a joke and like
Oh,
what their
humor.
yeah, what their humor is and
Uh huh.
what they kind of like. Because there's a difference between dark humor and then people just being blatant racist or like
Definitely.
homophobic. Like there's you could tell the difference. So whenever I talk to somebody, I kind of gauge at where like what they think is funny and what the jokes they say. Because sometimes I, I be doing that fake laugh and I hate doing the fake laugh because it's just I just that's just not me. So when I see
Hmm.
people and I have to do that, I'm like, okay, you're really not funny, and then you're also like pretty racist, you know? I've had a couple interactions with that, and it's like, if you have to go that route when it comes to jokes, then it's kind of like you're trying too hard. Um,
Definitely. And it's always like you're trying to say something like you really believe that.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you truly believe it's funny, you know?
exactly. What do you look for when you interact with people?
I would say intention.
Oh,
Like when you meet somebody, or you kind of just see how inclusive they are.
hmm,
Are they inclusive? Are attentive to detail? That doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I you would appreciate a friend that kind of remembers the small things, you know,
Yeah.
outlook on life, like positivity or negativity.
Mhm.
Because you can have some negative friends, you know,
Yeah.
or you can even try to help out some friends. But I guess there's like some people that are just truly you kind of it just might be healthier for yourself to move on from that case. Have you ever had that situation where you feel like your position in this world is to kind of help somebody?
Yeah, all the time. Sometimes I feel like just being able to meet people and you're kind of
Hmm.
like, I want to be able to help you, but also I don't want to see the thing is with that is like I don't want to treat them like a charity case because I've been in that situation too,
Yeah,
where it's like you're only talking to me and like talking to me as like you're you're gonna tell it to me on a bad day, and that's what I hate. Like I hate asking for favors if you're gonna tell it to me on a bad day, you know?
yeah. Which goes to your intention. Like, do you really want to do it, or are
Hmm.
you just doing it just because you have to? Like,
Exactly.
if you don't want, to, or it's like one of the. I guess one thing that one thing that I can have an advantage of is, or not advantage, but you know, I'm like I'm a five like I was gonna say 5'10". I can't lie on here. You know, I wish I
Yeah.
was 5'10". Shoot, I'm a 5'9". You know, a 5'9" guy. I'm pretty big. If I feel like that's the thing that kind of sucks in this world is like if I don't fake laugh,
Hmm.
it's gonna make me like feel like in a dangerous situation. Like, oh, why didn't you laugh, bro? And then you're like in that whole like situation. Like I can do that because I'm able to, but I
Hmm.
can't imagine for other people that aren't able to express themselves in that way. You know.
Exactly.
I feel like that's where it sucks. Which goes back to communication and oh, and I think that's one of the parts that really get me.
Mm,
But yeah.
yeah. No, I get it. It's confusing. It's confusing to kind of like navigate how you talk to people or navigate how you want to be seen in the world. Which is
Mhm.
why I love doing this just to kind of also catch up, see where you're up to, where the other person is kind of like doing in their lives. So it's really helpful and I'm glad you could share some insight on your relationship. Your because it's 2 years or
Oh
what?
my gosh,
What are you at?
it's 2 years unofficial because
Mhm.
we started kind of seeing each other on the 24th of January, and ever since that day, we really didn't stop seeing each other every day until we went long distance. Like
Oh
I
wow.
kid you not, we literally saw each other every day, unless
Mhm.
I went to San Diego or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
But
wow.
that was crazy.
So the
Yeah,
24th is 2 years unofficial.
unofficial,
Okay.
unofficial. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I know, right? It's been so long. That's why I'm like 2020. What? Because well, one thing, 2020 was a blur, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It didn't really happen, but it happened.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. I never knew when the last time I was going to see everyone. So
Hmm.
to be able to see people via Zoom or whatever, it's nice. It's really nice. But do you have any advice for folks who are in long distance or any advice for people who are on your in your position too? Like who look at 25 as like, I'm literally in my mid almost what did you call it? Like a midlife crisis?
Crisis or quarter life
Quarter
crisis.
life, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what do you say about that and kind of if you have any tips, tricks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, thank you so much for having me on. I love it so
Of
much. It's quite an honor. But
mhm,
regarding that question, be upfront of what you
mhm.
want. Um, shoot, I literally just brain farted right now. Can
You're
you edit that?
good. You you're good,
I'm
you're
trying
good.
to be deep. You know, I'm trying to be
It's
deep.
good. Or you could even it doesn't even have to be deep. Like, yo,
No,
come to
no, I
San
actually had
Diego.
it, but I lost the thought. You said
Mhm.
advice on, say it one more time.
Advice on anything, like relationship wise, or just like advice on being like 25,
Oh, yeah, there you
like
go.
starting up
All
your
right, being 25, don't compare yourself. You know, like what I said, like people can get married, people gonna still work on a certain job compared to
yeah.
you, and just don't compare yourself. Look for what you want, make goals. For relationships, say what you want. You don't want to
Same.
be that person that's like, oh, it's I'm already too deep in. I don't want to, you know, if I leave,
Mhm.
I can't, you know, I can't find anybody else. Like, no, have confidence in yourself. You know, like you got this. You are you. There's a
Mhm.
reason why someone loved you. Someone, and maybe that person is not loving you the right way.
Yeah.
You know, find someone that loves you the right way. Find someone that makes you happy, and Does it make you want to wonder why you're still here? Like those
Yeah.
things like give you the motivation to like when you listen to a song, who do you think of? And if
Mhm.
you think that person, then maybe it's that person.
Yeah.
All that. But yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me on here, Alyssa.
No
So cool.
problem. Thank you all for listening and thank you for being here on the Just Listening podcast Love Talk series. We'll catch you back at the next episode. Peace.
Peace.